Welcome in, Oilers fans. Welcome in, Rush fans. Sorry I didn't get a chance to post a video on the last two Edmonton Oilers games, but briefly, just to mention, they were coming in on this game on a two-game win streak, winning both of those games 3-2. Unfortunately, the last game they had suffered an injury with Leon Draisaitl against the San Jose Sharks. So coming into this game, I was not expecting for the Oilers to really be able to contain the Kings. They have a very hot goaltender in Darcy Kemper who is absolutely playing lights out hockey, and I was right. We're missing our top four players with Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Matthias Ekholm, and arguably Stuart Skinner. We did get Trent Frederick back, which was fantastic. It was phenomenal to see him in an Oilers uniform after we acquired him around the trade deadline time. So him not being able to play for a very long time, he's kind of shaking off the rust. Good news, though, we did see Connor McDavid skate. So good things are going to happen for the Oilers when the playoffs come. But right now, fans, the Oilers are kind of limping in to the end of the season, or to actually for the last few games here. It's not a foregone conclusion that we won't have second place, but the gap between the LA Kings and the Edmonton Oilers has gotten a little bit wider. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. This loss was a very, as much as I figured it would happen, it still sucks because it's against a divisional opponent. It's going up against potentially an opportunity for home ice advantage. But realistically, I have faith and confidence that the Oilers are going to bring it when the playoffs come because our roster is going to be significantly different, especially with the addition of Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Matthias Ekholm, and even Stuart Skinner. Now, no knock on Calvin Pickard. I think he played fantastic throughout this game. I honestly think the Oilers played fantastic throughout this game, given the situation that they were shorthanded. So we just didn't win it. The Kings had all their players. Look, every team goes through those injuries. So congratulations to the Kings on winning this. I am going to be very excited. I know it's potentially going to be the fourth time in a row that we will see an Oilers versus Kings matchup in the first round, and I think that's going to be electric either way. Obviously, I'm a little biased. I want to see the Edmonton Oilers win that one. But the Kings are much better this year. Here's the good side of what happened today. The Oilers were able to be strong on the penalty kill. The Kings, with their high-powered offense, just couldn't find a way to get it past the Edmonton Oilers' defense and goaltending in Calvin Pickard. The defense today, I know the score doesn't reflect it, but the defense today was much better. The puck movement was much better. There is only one negative I'm going to give you from this game, and that is the questionable calls that the refs are making. Now, they make their calls. I'm not going to dispute what the league has. I'm not going to dispute the refs. I'm not going to go out here and say that the refs cost the Oilers the game. That's not the case. But when you have a certain amount of penalties against one team, especially when they're shorthanded and they're working really hard, and they don't get the power plays, you tell me. Go back and watch that game or the highlights of that game on that Warren Foegele penalty call. Warren Foegele played for the Oilers, and I absolutely loved him, but now he plays for the Kings, and I'm not a big fan, but big fan of his game. I will agree that there was a call on Evan Bouchard for interference, but Evan Bouchard is turning away from Warren Foegele. So, okay, granted, you give him the call. But when Warren Foegele hooks his arm around Evan Bouchard, and Evan Bouchard is falling backwards towards Warren Foegele, I'm sorry. I need the refs to open up their eyes. That's a holding call. But again, I'm not disputing what the refs did. I'm not saying that they changed the nature of this game. And I'm not disputing how the NHL trains its refs. But if I had to say anything, it would be maybe open up your eyes. Because I don't want to see that kind of call happen in the playoffs. That's not needed. Come on. That ruins the game. Refs can ruin the game by making calls that should not be made or making calls that are not equally fair. I agree. There should have been an interference penalty on Bouchard. You're not going to get any complaint from me. It didn't change the nature of the outcome of the game. You're not going to hear that from me. But call it fair. Call it down the middle. There's an interference. There's a holding. Flat out, Plain and simple. That's all I'm going to say. So, we're going to get into the scoring summary. And look, first period, like I said, the Oilers did a fantastic job. They were able to generate some shots, limit the amount of shots. Calvin Pickard did a very good job. He was very positionally sound. And it turned out that there was no scoring in the first period. I absolutely loved the Oilers and their first period play. This is what I was hoping that we would see, given the fact that we are missing some key players. And let me put on a side note. I absolutely love seeing Wallman and Bouchard together. I'm not quite sure what's going to happen when Ekholm comes back, if he's going to be with Bouchard, or maybe he goes with Nurse, or maybe he goes with Emberson, but Wallman and Bouchard seem to be playing very well together, and look, it just adds to the best possible case scenario of this edition of Wallman. I think he's playing fantastic. I think he's going to be consistently good defenseman for the remainder of the season and into the playoffs and even next year. Remember, guys, we have him next year as well. The second period, the LA Kings were able to pot 2 goals, one by Kevin Fiala. It was kind of a shot towards the net, bounces off of his chest, drops down, and he can just easily swat it into the net behind Calvin Pickard. He was assisted by Laferriere and, oh yeah, Spencer, that's who it was. Sorry, I had to look at my screen. And then the next goal was Andrei Kuzmenko, who has been playing lights out hockey since joining the Kings. And I mean, he was playing prior to the trade. He's playing pretty well, but he's doing really well on that organization. And like I said, I'm not mad. The Kings won it. They had all their players. We'll talk about it when the playoffs happen, when we have all of our players. When we have Kane, when we have Ekholm, when we have Draisaitl, when we have McDavid, and when we have Stuart Skinner. Hopefully it's the better version of Stuart Skinner, because I would not want the other version of Stuart Skinner. So let's hope and pray that everything kind of falls into order, and then the Oilers can actually put a roster that is very, very competitive. I'm not saying that they're not competitive now, but our ultimate playoff roster should be very good. And yeah, yes, I know the Kings have a fantastic home record, but I still am going to pick the Oilers. But this year, I think it might actually be a 7-game series that we're going to be excited to watch. And in the third period, Oilers did much of the same thing. There was a lot of defensive play, but there was also a lot of offensive opportunities for the Oilers. You saw Darnell Nurse jump into the play, Wallman jump into the play, Bouchard jump into the play. They were pulling out all stops. When he finally got a chance to empty our net to really make that final push, unfortunately, the puck did bounce off of Wallman's stick. It was a little bit of a fumble. Kings recover. Lewis gets his 6th of the year on an empty net, and that was all she wrote. But other than that, I thought this was a fantastic game by not only the Kings, but also the Oilers as well. Granted the situation. I do have to give props where props are due. Darcy Kemper got a shutout today. I think he was outstanding. He had a fantastic game, was able to see everything. I mean, even that puck that went past him and under the net on the side of the net, I don't even know. That's like a 1 in however many chance. That was insane. But he was on point today, so I have to give him the player of the game. The future look ahead is we have another game against the... we have another game against the Ducks. Again, I'm checking my screen, so don't stop it. We have to finish off this road trip against the Ducks, who gave us a little bit of problems last time. So let's see if we can go into that game and maybe recover. Our April record right now is 2-1 with this loss to the Kings. But we're going to finish off this road trip strong. I think we're going to be okay. We have to get that revenge against the Ducks for a couple weeks back for what happened in that game. I'm not happy about it. I still remember. I don't want to see that same result. I'd like to see the opposite of that result, actually. But guys, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this recap. For those of you who have been watching, who have been liking, who have been commenting, sharing, and even subscribing, you guys have been helping me out tenfold. We are almost at 100 subscribers. I'm not even going to worry about the 500. I'm worrying about the 100. We're almost there. So, if you haven't already, please don't hesitate to share out my channel to fellow hockey fans around the world. It would mean the most to me for them to kind of get engaged with some of the stuff that I'm talking about. Maybe even those who are fans of the Oilers or those who just want to talk crap, because I don't mind. But thank you guys again. I hope you have a great weekend. I will see you on the next video. Guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like the content, please don't forget to hit like and subscribe. It means the world to me to have your interaction, and I will catch you on the next video.